Welcome to another episode of Astral Auto Repairs. Can you dig it? Yeah, I know you can dig it. Today, let's see here. We got a 2003 Chevy Trailblazer complaint. We're replacing the left front wheel hub, the hub assembly. Now, some hub assemblies are pressed bearings. Some of them just bolted in. This one's just a bolt in. Customer already got the bearing for us. I see it has an ABS wheel speed sensor on it. If you're going to replace yours, make sure it's with or without ABS. It's very important. A good way to diagnose a hub bearing is that when you're driving along, you'll hear it. This thing is like a dull roaring sound. You'll hear it, believe me, and you'll be able to detect which wheel it's coming from. So the customer knows exactly which one it is, and I believe before we checked this out before, but I'm not pretty sure. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna grab you, I'm gonna show you what the bearing looks like, and we're gonna take care of this, okay? Let's see. Okay, here's the Trailblazer, and we're gonna be removing this one right here. Customer already got the bearing. Let's see, get this thing right here. As you can see it's got the harness for the wheel speed sensor that's mounted already in it. Comes with new studs. This right here where the axle goes to in case it's four-wheel drive. Okay, I'm gonna set the camera up. It looks like we're low on air here, so I'm gonna start the compressor up, jack this up, get the wheel off, and get it taken care of. All right, be right back. Okay, here we are, the front left wheel. Let's get this wheel off of here. 3/4 inch nuts holding on the tires, or 19 millimeter. Looks like we're going to get some more air going on here. Doesn't make no sense for anything to be so tight. But let me start the compressor up, and when we come back, we'll get that lug off. Alright, while we got it apart, let's make it easy for us and take this center bolt off. That socket, 36 millimeter. Okay, next, to make this easy for us, what I'm going to do is, I want you to come around here. Let's set you up on this side. Alright, to make it easy for us, because the bolts for this hub are in the back. So what we're going to do is disconnect the outer tie rod. So we're going to take this little cotter pin off right here. And what we're gonna do is drop that ball joint. Well, I'm sorry, not ball joint. Drop the outer tie rod. Okay, there's two ways of doing this. Now you can take a hammer and you can hit right here, or you can get a fork and knock the fork in. Let's get that top out first. Now, as you can see with air tools, this is a lot easier than you were doing this by hand. But the same principle, but believe me, it's a lot harder. All right, we got that outer tie rod there, 7/8 socket. Get that off. Now, take a hammer, a nice one. You hit it right there, not on the ball joint. Be careful with the studs. Knock that out of there. Then what you can do, or you can use the fork. Put the fork in there. And make sure I back you up a little bit. Sometimes that thing do not want to come out. Knock right out, lean to the side. Now see, I did that, and you still, let me sure you can still see this. Let's get you a closer up on this now. Now I did this because the bolts of this hub is in the back. See, now I can turn this easily and get to the 3 bolts. But next what we're going to do is swing to the other side, because we got to take this caliper off, because the caliper is in the way. Easiest way of doing this, instead of removing the caliper, then you can either remove the caliper and then the caliper bracket, or you can move the whole thing as assembly. A lot of times it's easy just to remove each one by itself. Okay. So let's get the caliper off. See what size this is. Okay, it's 11/16 or 17 millimeter. Let's get those 2 bolts off. Okay, swing the caliper out of the way. Now, while you got this apart, you want to check the brakes, make sure the brakes are good. Brakes are fine on this. Now we're going to get the 2 bolts to hold in the caliper bracket on. Those looks like they're going to be an 18, so let me go get an 18 and I'll be right back. Okay, got an 18 millimeter. I got a little wobble socket there. Makes it easier for me to get to them bolts. Let's get both of them off. Okay. Watch out for these brackets. Like, you see this one? This bracket was broken already. But let's just get that out of there. Take the brakes. Now on the back of the brakes there's markings to show you which side of the caliper they was on. Just keep a note of that. Then take the bracket off. Got your bolt. Then the rotor should just come right off. Sometimes the rotor will not come off. You'll see little holes right there, look like threaded holes. What you would do is take 2 screws and put them in there, and it'll push up against the hub and take the rotors off. Okay, now, see how easy this is? Now, if you take your notice at this, here's the sensor, here's the wire and all. You know, we're gonna be pulling all that apart, come around to here and disconnect it. Because if you notice, our new one, see that's, look at that right there, man. That's a messed up plug right there. But as long as we know where they go, we know the yellow one goes on the top, blue one goes on the bottom. We're gonna put that back and let's pull that out of there. So let's set you up over here. Okay. Pull this sensor out of here. And look at that, that's a lot of corrosion in here. Remember the yellow one goes on the, I remember the yellow one goes at the top. So let's get this plug out of here. Man, this whole thing, this whole plug is all messed up. Okay, we got that out. We know the yellow one goes on the top. So we're going to make sure we put those back in there. And we're going to make sure they're plugged up good on the sensor. Okay, now let's get this thing unhooked. Got two little clips holding this on. Take a screwdriver and you should be able to pop these clips loose. One. Get you out of there. Okay, and we got the other one. It's going to give us, of course, one of them gives us a hard time. There's two. All right, we got the sensor disconnected. Now let me disconnect this for us. Let me you up and see if I can show you these bolts behind here. So these bolts, there's 1, 2, and 3 is on the other side. They look like about an 18mm. Let's be sure. Yes, they are 18mm. So let's set you back up here. Look at this. Okay, we got our 18mm already set up. See, that's why I got that tie rod disconnected. Hold this to the side with one hand. As you can see, this thing is very easy with air tools, a lot quicker. Okay, now we're on the other side. So what we're going to do here is, in fact, let me see if I can get this to go the other way. See if I can get this camera set up the other way. Oh yeah, that's a good view right there. See, now we're going to turn it over that way. And there's the last bolt. Okay. Now, as you can see, this thing is a little stuck in there. So what we're going to do, we're going to spray a little WD-40 in here. And then we're going to take the rubber part, or we're going to take a wooden block and a hammer and tap on the axle. Do not tap on it with metal or you'll mess the threads up. Alright, so let's just get this set up right here. Okay, let's get some spray in the block. Got me a block of wood. It's just gonna shuck. It shouldn't take much. This thing is in there. It's got a serious issue here. This thing is like frozen in there. You know what? All right, let's get us a. Even that ain't gonna work. As you can see, I'm trying to get something to pry up against that. You know, to be on the safe side. Let's put this bolt on.
What's up, man?
Hey, what's going on?
How you doing?
Pretty good. This thing is like frozen in here.
I'm telling you, man. To be honest with you, me and my cousin changed the one on the other side about a year ago.
Uh-huh.
I was just like, you know what? I don't even want to do that no more. It was just as hard getting the other one out.
Wow,
We
that
had
should
to
not.
beat it and bang it, and it took a minute.
And you gotta be careful not to mess up them threads.
Yeah. Yep, all of that. All of that, yeah. Anyway, look,
Yeah, what's up?
if I don't know how long you're gonna be out, whatever, but
Yeah.
I got a meeting like at 1. So if I'm in there when you finish up.
Yeah, no problem. I'll be done before 1.
Okay, all right. Cool. Yeah, I didn't know how long that was gonna take you because I know I didn't think
No problem, thanks. You can see this thing just as tight as anything. You can see the customer had a problem with this before. So lucky us, we're doing it now. Got a serious issue here. Alright, I'm gonna keep on trying it. Pause the video and I'll be right back. Okay, dang, we got that thing off. That thing took some beating. I mean, man, what I had to do, believe me, guys, girls, whatever, you gotta do this job. I can advise you right now, get you a new axle nut, okay? You're gonna need it. I had to put the bolts back in the old hub and take like a sledgehammer, this sledgehammer right here, and I had to beat that thing till it started moving with a lot of WD-40. As you can see, here's the bolt, here's the axle nut. See, I messed that thing up. Be sure to put this thing on. Wow, man. I can probably grind that out, but my main thing is, you know, see this? I wanted to make sure that I kept them threads intact on that axle. Okay, let's and you can see I got the old hub over here. Here's a new one. All right, you know, I got some axle nuts. I might have one to match it up instead of having to fix that one. All right, I'm gonna put some gloves on. Let me set this camera back up. We're gonna start putting the new one in, which should be a heck of a lot easier than taking this one out. Remember, this is a very difficult job, you know. Wow, this thing is supposed to came out really easy. Heck no. So get ready for a headache. Trust me. All right, when I come back, we're gonna start setting this up. All right, bear back. Okay, what we're gonna do here, we'll take a wire brush. I just sprayed this from some WD-40, these splines. Get them spines clean. We're gonna put some lithium grease up here. You know, so make sure next time, if anybody have to take apart this thing, it won't have, hopefully, they won't have this problem. Okay. Next, we're going to the backing shield. Now, if you don't remember which way this went, look on the back, and you'll see the outlines of the old bearing, and you'll see the outline of the spindle, because they're different. So you know, here's the outline of the spindle. So we know that's going to go just like that. Okay. What we're going to do here is pop this wire tie loose. Okay, let's okay. Now we know if that goes like that, and the harness is gonna go through there. We know it's going to go just like that. Now what you want to do here is just get your bolts started. Just till they start by hand. Then you can let it go and you can start relaxing. Let's flip it around this side. There you have it. Bearings installed. Now let's get our 18 millimeter. Somewhere around here. Here we go. And tighten them bolts up. Now again, I can't stress this enough, even though you didn't see it in the video. Taking that axle out of this hub is very, very difficult. Have you a new axle bolt just in case, and you might have to add a new axle. Hopefully these threads are good. I can see it's a little bit swollen, so you might have a little difficult time putting them up there, but hopefully not. All right. Let's get this. Oh, this is a nice one. It comes with the clips already, so we can pretty much pop those old ones out. Let me show you what I'm talking about. You can see up here the clips we took out. We don't even need them because the new one comes with new clips, so we can just pretty much pop those out. So let's get them out of there. This thing wants to fight tooth and nail, man. All the way. Hey, look at me. That's the easiest way. All right. I'm gonna get the, see a little bit of the clip in there. So I'm gonna get them out of there. So when we come back, we're gonna hook up the wiring harness, okay? So we'll be right back. Okay, got the harness hooked up. Next thing we're gonna do is start backtracking. Got all the bolts tightened up. Before we put a bracket on, let's get the rotor on. Then we're gonna bolt at the bracket. Okay, two 18 millimeter bolts. Let's tighten them up. Brake pads, remember, they're like markings on them, the marks on them. See, I got two little circles right there. I know that goes on the inboard. Then we got the outboard. Okay, let's set that caliper down on it. Two bolts. Sometimes they can be a little bit of pain lining up. There we go. Those two are 17 millimeter. And sometimes you see how that spun, sometimes you might have to get a little wrench or something, 17 millimeter wrench, to hold that into place, the stud into place. But sometimes, you notice how I just did, I just used my finger to hold it a little bit. Okay. Now we're going to swing it back to the side. And we're going to install the tie rod. Now on the tie rod, when you tighten the tie rod up, sometimes you might have to use, in fact, let me swing you around this side. Okay. Putting the tie rod in, when you tighten up this nut, sometimes the whole joint, the tie rod will spin, the joint will spin. So what you want to do is, the socket up here, take a pry bar, say I stuck that pry bar in there, say you pick it up, you hold up some pressure, and if you're using air tools, it's going to go down there and it's going to catch quick. Just that quick. Then you want to make sure the holes are lined up for your cotter pin. Those ain't lined up, so I tighten up, keep tightening up until I get it lined up. There we go, lined up. Now what I like to do, I like to use a new cotter pin. First I'll see if this one fits good. Yeah, it does. Lock it into place, that's done. Now the only thing we got left is the axle nut. Now, if we go over here, I'll show you. We got a new axle nut. Now, putting this on. Now, the problem here is putting this on. This axle nut's not fitting all that great. That's because of all that beating we did. So what I'm going to do is get a thread cleaner and clean those threads off and put that on. Alright, I'll be right back. Okay, here we are. Now what I did was, I got these little threading tools. They're cool. One is metric and one is American. I went on to I just lined the threads up. As you can see, there's different threadings on each side. And you can see they got the numbers on them. So what I did was go to number 13. We are here. 13, and I noticed those threads lined up with that, and that's all I did was go across here and just keep filing it down to clean the threads up and got that bolt on. So we're good with this side. Let's get this tie on, and that's how you do the hub on these vehicles. As I said, these things are very difficult to do. So you know, the hub itself ain't that bad, but getting that thing separated, that's a job, as you can see. Even the customer said, you know, they did the other side. They was like, forget that. Call Astral. Alright, this is another job by Astral Auto Repairs. If we can't repair it, nobody can. Take care.